chapters 5 and 6 of How to Read Literature Like a Professor, Thomas writes about Shakespeare and the Bible and their influences upon society.
More specifically, in chapter 5, he describes how Shakespeare has had much impact on wordplay and literature today. Many works have cited and used references to him and his plays, basically making him a melting pot for literature. For example, books and movies have referenced the famous "all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players." This quote is commonly recognized throughout the world, as it's been shown in films such as Mere Oblivion and the musical The Seven Doors of Danny.
One of the many books connected to Shakespeare is Wise Children, written by Angela Carter. The novel addresses a set of unlawful twins who experience many Shakespearean situations. Shakespeare created a huge inspiration among many writers, allowing them to develop similar plots and characters.
Shakespeare has had such a huge impact that his plays are still acted out today and are still able to obtain huge audiences. He set the bar for writing, and he created many of the words we use today. Just as Shakespeare's works have been interpreted and reused in much of literature we have today, Foster also shows another example, the Bible.
The Bible has been involved in the making of many creative titles for all different kinds of genres. For example, the story of Sunny Blues was created by the Bible and furthermore continues to symbolize many characteristics of it.
For example, Toni Morrison's Beloved. As seen throughout the novel, the plot portrays the story of an escaped slave named Seth, as him and his daughter are found by white men on horses, and he decides to kill her as he doesn't want her to live a miserable life as a slave. The story connects with the Bible, as the white men discovering Seth and his child represent the apocalypse according to the Gospel of St. John, the arrival of the four horsemen. The apocalypse doesn't always necessarily have to be the end of the world for everyone. Seth would have been the only one to have his world/life ruined from killing his daughter, signaling an apocalypse, but only for him. The Bible gives many writers a creative and unique story to develop a plot around. In the story Araby, James Joyce discusses one of the many common themes that is portrayed throughout the Bible: innocence and the fall of it. Writers don't only just take references from the Bible and incorporate it into their works, but they bend and shape the stories and traditions in order to make it non-religious, highlighting the themes more of the religious aspect.
In early English culture, the Bible is more referenced in a religious way. But in modern times, it's often coded in irony. It's useful to have previous knowledge of a piece of literature, as one would be able to analyze it in deeper context, although knowing the information can conflict with the society's opinion or attitude.
Many characters are named after biblical figures, sometimes symbolizing the original character in the new one. One who has understood the personality of the biblical figure may have better understanding of the character's new intentions or actions in the story.
As you can see, chapters 5 and 6 help educate us in learning how to read literature like a professor, as we're taught how to make connections and relate them to real-world situations.
In this scenario, literary connections between the Bible and Shakespeare's works. In Angela Carter's Wise Children, in which the characters go through various Shakespearean situations, such as the whole story taking place in a short amount of time, and even having the plot set on his birthday, or in James Joyce's Araby, which he discussed the loss of innocence, a mainstay theme in the Bible.
All in all, these two chapters help one read literature like a professor by teaching readers how to make connections between literary works who make references to the Bible or Shakespeare.
But you gotta be there for me too.